Hey everyone, Dennis K here with Belize Islands Real Estate. Hope you're doing well today. Hey, listen, I was just going over some emails that some clients have recently sent me, and they're going to be coming down here within the next few weeks to look at vacant land on Ambergris Key. And we've been going back and forth regarding different neighborhoods, different listings, and they came up with this short list of questions, which I thought were really good. And I want to answer their questions via my YouTube channel because many of you are also probably asking yourselves the same questions, especially if you haven't been to Belize yet, or you're just trying to make an overall budget into what you should be looking at doing, when, how, all that kind of good stuff. So let me just kind of skip down through the questions here and answer them one by one. It says, first of all, as part of the purchase, is a land survey performed? Are there physical markers placed on the property after survey? So to answer the first question, first part of the question, a land survey is not part of the purchase process. It's not part of the closing process. You can choose to have that done if you want, but in 99.9% of the times, over the 15 years I've been doing this, land survey has not been part of the closing process. What usually my property owners and buyers will do is that just before they go to build on the property, or just before they have it filled, or maybe a fence put up or anything done, then they will have it resurveyed. And the resurvey is just to make sure that if there are physical markers still there from when the subdivision was originally created, that they haven't moved or ran over by a truck. And those property markers then are put in the exact location where they should be. If they have been moved, they're painted, and then you have these little red flags that go on them, depending on the surveyor. So your four corners of the property, typically a rectangular square property, will have the four corners identified, spray painted bright yellow, makes it very, very easy to identify. So then when you have your builder come in or your landfill guy come in, he knows exactly which property is yours. The cost to do that right now in Ambergris Key varies, but I would probably plan on spending around 750 to 950 US. If a guy just has to come out from Belize City for one survey, you might have a higher amount. If he's coming out to do several lots at the same time, he might give you a little bit of a discount. All right. But I don't recommend that you survey your property until the time comes where you're actually going to build on it, or, like I said, do something to improve it. Because that way the survey is fresh right when you go to do those things. All right, second question. Are there protections, example, law enforcement laws that protect my property from squatters, vandalism, or theft? So absolutely. So the laws in Belize are very, very strong against squatting. So we have very, very little issues, if any, when it comes to squatters. Certainly, you don't have people come and living in your home. We don't have that issue at all, like they're having in some parts of the world right now. But even when it comes to vacant land, so for example, let's say you bought some vacant land, and I have a very good friend of mine who recently did this on the mainland of Belize. He bought a very, very large piece of farmland where there were a few people that had squatted over the years, just because this is in a very remote part of the country. And he served them notice that this was on private land and that they had to move, and they had to comply. And it was a very, very quick and easy process. And yeah, so Belize does have very, very strong laws that prevent people from using private property. As far as vandalism and theft, vandalism is hard to have, any control over. With theft, a lot of my clients, especially, ones who are building new homes around the Secret Beach area, technology has come so far now as far as having security cameras that you can watch over your property from anywhere in the world. And number three on the list, this kind of goes in hand with this, is that the island of Ambergris Key is considered one of the safest places in all of Central America, and certainly in the country of Belize. So because it's an island, it's separated by 40 miles of water from Belize City. Belize City is what gives Belize generally the bad reputation. And when it comes to crime, a lot of it happens in the south side of Belize City. The island is far removed from that. Plus, it's such a small community that everyone knows everyone. All the neighbors know each other. And because of that, it's a very, very tight-knit community. That's not to say that, once in a while something gets stolen, of course, but that happens anywhere in the world. You leave your bike sitting on your backyard and you haven't locked it up in a week, somebody might take it for a ride. Same thing with golf carts. In fact, you should always lock your golf cart up, not so much to protect it from purposeful theft, but accidental theft. So I've had this happen myself where I didn't lock my golf cart. I came back, golf cart was gone. It was simply taken by another tourist that had the same looking golf cart as me, and all it was a different golf cart number because the golf carts look 99% the same, and the same key will fit most. So always lock your bike up, always lock your golf cart up. But yeah, it's a very, very, very safe island. In fact, there are several blogs on the internet right now of single women who moved down from North America and have been there for years. And they actually talk about this from the standpoint of a single woman living on her own on Ambergris Caye, how they feel regarding its safety and security. Fourth question, average off-grid homes. It's hard to come up with an average. What I can do is give you some guidance. So first of all, if you're looking to have one of the Mennonite homes built, for example, Platts Builders, and you see that you can get a home that is complete for $50,000 delivered to the island, I would double that and say you should plan on spending another 50 on all your gray work. So your septic, your sewer, your solar panels, your pilings, things like that, to actually complete the build, have it move-in ready. Right now, concrete construction, so just ground up, straight block concrete construction is going between 225 and 250,000 for high-end construction, and wood's going for a bit lower than that. But it's a trade-off. Some people like the softness of the wood, a little bit cheaper to build, but some people like the more durability or clean modern lines of a concrete build. So really it's just up to your style. But let's say anywhere between, $190 and $250 US a square foot to get a nice home on or off grid, anywhere on Ambergris Caye, pretty much anywhere, unless you're talking, some crazy design where you're just going to want to have, 20-foot high ceilings or something like that. How long does it typically take to build and have a home move-in ready? So I met with Graniel, one of my favorite builders on the island, and he said right now, he said it's looking at about 9 months for a custom-built concrete home using him and his team. So from the time you give them the go-ahead to the time they hand you the keys, about 9 months. It's a lot quicker if you go with some of the Mennonite builds. So for example, depending on their backlog of work, it could take them maybe 3 months to get, the house built in the mainland. But during that time, you're having your guys working in Ambergris Caye on your lot for the 3 months, putting in your septic and cistern and prepping the property and all that kind of stuff. So kind of working in tandem there. But I would say, say 4 or 5 months, I think is reasonable time frame right now. Other than, like I said, a concrete custom home, which is going to take longer, 9 months, maybe even a year, depending on the size. Next question, what is it like to import into Belize? For example, having items for the home shipped to Belize or having a vehicle shipped. So I was just on a Zoom call with a gentleman from Canada. We talked about this. First of all, my advice would be not to have a bunch of stuff shipped down. I would rather source everything in Belize. So even if I built a brand new home, I would go to Marab's, I would go to Benny's Hardware, I would go to one of the many larger department stores in Belize City. I would just source everything from there. That way it's brand new. You got a brand new house. It's it's all furnished with brand new stuff. If you want to get a little creative, you can have someone like Graniel build all of your tables, your end tables, your bed frames, your dining tables out of the Belizean hardwood, which is actually going to look really cool in your house rather than bringing down some, IKEA stuff from the States. Might cost a little more, but it's going to last forever. That Belizean hardwood stuff is just awesome. If you do ship down things from Belize, remember that for the most part, Belize has about a 40 to 60% import tax, a duty that is paid on anything shipped in, including vehicles. So let's say you ship down, $20,000 worth of furniture and a $25,000 vehicle. The $20,000 worth of furniture is probably going to run you about $8,000 to $10,000 in tax. that's paid to the Belize government when you bring it in. The $25,000 vehicle you can be taxed up to 60% of that value. So you're looking at around $15,000 tax to bring it in the country. Now, one way you couldn't get around that is if you qualify for the QRP program and you do not plan on working in Belize or running a business in Belize. So for that, I would put you in touch with some people that specialize in the QRP because there are trade-offs. It does allow you to bring things such as vehicles into the country without having to pay that large tax, but it also comes with stipulations. So depending on your age, your income, what you're planning to do for the rest of your life, you definitely want to check out the QRP program to see if it's going to work for you or not. And finally, what are the next steps in the process? All right, so hey, if you know that you want a certain property, if you've been watching my videos and I put out anything that has looked interesting to you and say, you know what, good price, good terms, I'll take it. Then the next step is you send me your legal name, your full name, and your mailing address. I will fill out the agreement for sale and email it to you. You can take a few days, look it over. Everything looks good. We can email it to you via DocuSign. You'll sign, the sellers will sign, and then we turn a copy of that agreement for sale into the closing company of your choosing. So for example, I highly recommend Belize Key Investments. They have an office with a large staff right in San Pedro. Been working with these guys for 15 years. They're my #1 go-to source for anything property title related. You can walk into their office and meet with them and their staff. They have an incredible reputation. They're probably one of the largest closing companies in Belize. And I recommend you work with them, but if you don't want to work with them, you can work with any attorney or any other closing company that you wish. It's your decision as a buyer which escrow company to use. So what we would do is we would turn the agreement for sale into them. They would do the paperwork, do the title search, send out the property transfer documents for signature, and then there you go. You're a property owner in Belize. In Belize, very, very few, I'm talking, I don't remember one in my entire life. Do we do in-person closings? Normally they are done via FedEx and DocuSign because normally the sellers are one part of the world, the buyers another part, Belize is obviously another part. So, to get all those moving parts, we use FedEx quite a bit. And so everything is ran through, like I said, a third-party closing company, which will ensure the title is free and clear, ensure that the transfer docs are all set. If there's a mortgage in the property, make sure the mortgage docs are all complete. Everything looks good. Then they're FedExed, original signatures, and you're a property owner in Belize. Congratulations. All right. So, hey, thanks a lot for watching. If you feel these videos are helpful, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions at all that you'd like me to answer on my YouTube channel, go ahead, email those to me. I'll make a video, pop it up, and everyone can benefit. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.